If you are feeling trapped by your rosacea, you're trying everything and nothing's really working. That was my case too, until I discovered a way to truly transform my skin. Welcome to The Skin Explained. I'm Athena, a French cosmetic chemist and biologist specializing in rosacea and sensitive skin. I've personally reversed my own rosacea, and I am here to empower you to do the same by uncovering and addressing the root causes through skincare, nutrition, lifestyle changes, and emotional support. My rosacea journey started when I was about 20 years old, 22. I had suffered from acne prior to this and had tried a lot of medication for that. And I kept using very harsh products on my acne, which eventually turned into rosacea. I remember waking up every morning with relentless redness on my cheeks, around my nose. My eyes were also very comfortable, and my skin was so dry. It was just very, very uncomfortable. I tried countless creams. I never tried laser because I don't know, it's something that I've always been kind of scared to try. But I pretty much tried all the prescription creams available out there, and also rounds of antibiotics, and it only offered temporary relief. It was not just the physical discomfort, it was the emotional toll. My self esteem, my confidence was extremely low. And I think it even impacted the way I evolved as a woman to have so many skin issues throughout, important developmental years. I felt super self-conscious. I felt isolated. I felt like no one understood me. And I felt just very overwhelmed by the constant flare-ups. It impacted my relationships, and it impacted how I showed up at work, how I showed up for myself. So definitely the emotional impact was very important. And I think we need to make more space for it. We need to talk more about it because it's very much overlooked. Even though there's a lot of research that's pointing to the fact that 90% of the women or even people with rosacea are socially, emotionally impacted. So we need to talk about it a lot more. So one day I kind of reached my breaking point. I just realized that the quick fixes were not working, and I needed to dig deeper and find the true root causes of my rosacea. Mind you, I am a cosmetic chemist and biologist, so I kind of had faith in the fact that I had all the resources I needed to understand this. I also back then working as a chemist for innovation labs in global brands. So I had access to amazing products, a lot of resources, and a lot of experts in the field. So I thought to myself, girl, you need to figure it out. If you don't figure it out, who can? I mean, with all of the knowledge and the tools that you have, you just have to spend some time and understand this. So that's when I began my research into holistic approaches. And it definitely started with researching the root causes. And I was a bit surprised that to see that there's so much research is leading towards so many different potential root causes that are not being mentioned by doctors or, by anyone who had helped me with my rosacea. So I was a bit surprised. And at the same time, I was happy because I was like, oh, well, if all of this can potentially play a role, then there's a lot for me to try. So I started looking everything from my skincare. I had to unlearn a lot of what I had learned throughout my years, working in labs and etc. I started educating myself on nutrition, lifestyle changes, and emotional well-being. As I learned more about my skin and my body and myself, I discovered that several myths that many of us believed about rosacea are actually keeping us chasing temporary solutions instead of healing from within. And the number one was rosacea is just a skin condition. Um, when I digged into the research, I was like, it's not a skin condition. It's an internal inflammatory condition that over time starts showing up on my skin. But it's not at all just my skin. My skin is just the reflection of something that's happening internally. Number two is that there's no cure for rosacea. I understood that when people said that, they meant there's no magic pill that's going to fix your rosacea. And I understood that indeed this was true, because rosacea do can stem from a combination of very different imbalances from one person to the other. So of course it's not going to be an instant fix, but it doesn't mean that rosacea cannot be reversed. The third myth that I needed to reframe was, you just need another miracle product. I, like a lot of us, was chasing, I just thought like maybe I am lacking magnesium. And if I take magnesium, my entire life is going to be fixed. Or maybe it's this one cream or Centella asiatica or this one ingredient that's going to like change everything. And the truth is that skincare is only one part of the puzzle. Nutrition, lifestyle, and emotional well being are just as important. And as a matter of fact, I call them the trifecta. So when I create plans inside the Healthy Skin Protocol, I call it the trifecta, and we do nutrition, lifestyle, and skincare and emotional work, so that ultimately, the person's able to reverse the symptoms in a sustainable and long-term way. So understanding these truths completely changed my approach and ultimately my entire life. In my journey, I discovered that true transformation comes from a holistic approach. And here is what worked for me, the few things. So when it comes to skincare, I, of course, switched to the most gentle skincare possible. I ditched pretty much all my cleansers and I started oil cleansing. I also did something where I would try to put a lot less products on my face so that ultimately it reveals its ability to produce sebum and find its balance without extra products. So when it comes to skincare, minimal was the word. And mind you, back then I was working in labs. I had probably like 50 different tubes of creams, 25 different foundations. It was just like, it made no sense. I had so much products, and I actually just like, throw it all in the garbage and stick to like jojoba oil for my oil cleansing and hemp seed oil. And I had very like few things, glycerin, a bit of beef tallow also helped. I stick to like very, very basic things when it comes to skincare. I also started doing zinc masks. Overnight zinc is also something that truly helped my skin. When it comes to nutrition, I pretty much re-evaluated my entire diet and went for as anti-inflammatory as possible. So I stopped 99% of the transformed foods I was eating. And I've tried many different diets. And what I have found to be the most helpful for me was to eat a variety of things and like no forfeit, eat a variety of things. I also did a lot of personal testings to really identify what triggered inflammation in me, or like any reaction for that matter. So I would remove certain ingredients and try to reintroduce them one at a time to see if my skin reacted or if my energy level was different. So I really put on my investigator hat on when it comes to nutrition to try to understand what was helping and what wasn't. And ultimately I created a plan that worked for me, and that was sustainable. And that also allowed me to enjoy life, because I think there's a lot of fear around food. There's a lot of restriction around, if I want to eat my skin, I have to restrict, I have to stop eating this, that, and that. And while this may be true for a limited amount of time, I think that, once your body finds its balance, then it's a lot more flexible, and then you can you can just learn how to work with your body and try to love it as much as possible so that, of course, it loves you back. When it comes to lifestyle, I think what's made the most difference for me was nervous system regulation. When I started learning about nervous system, it's like this entire new world opening for me. And I was like, oh my God, is this what's happening inside my body? And I never really understood it like this. But yeah, if I had to say one thing when it comes to lifestyle, nervous system regulation, understand it, identify it, and learn how to go from one stage to the other. Work with your body. Your body is holding a lot of wisdom. Let your body express. So nervous system regulation and working, around somatic movement has been key for me in this journey. And the last piece is the emotional well-being, and that's perhaps, I don't know, the most, hard work I've done on myself, because in order for me to get to the root of what was happening to my skin, I kind of had to review my entire life and work on all of the things I didn't say, all of the things I had repressed. And to be very honest with you, till this day, I'm still uncovering layers of repressed and unexpressed emotions and blocked stuff, traumas, shadows, and inner child wounds. So this journey of reversing my rosacea has transformed me as a person. And I think you can choose to see your rosacea as a curse, or you can choose to see it as a gift, because it can either take you on this loop of never ending trial and error and low confidence, low self-worth, being lost, overwhelmed, triggered, and all of the things, or you can just decide to see it like the messenger who's coming to tell you that something is going on internally and that you also need to address it from an emotional perspective. And it truly has the power to transform you as a person. So learning to be kind to yourself, building a supportive community, all of this was essential to reversing my skin symptoms. So a lot of you may know me from YouTube. From Instagram. I usually hang out on Instagram, but I really wanted to start making longer format, because there's obviously a lot I want to say. So I thought YouTube was going to be a great space to do that. So this channel is really, really a safe space where I'm going to share everything I've learned about reversing rosacea, where you'll find expert skincare tips, nutritional advice, lifestyle hacks, and emotional support strategies, all grounded in science and enriched by my personal experience. I'm not here to sell you a miracle. I am here to empower you to understand your skin so that you can make your own informed decisions and ultimately find resolution to your skin symptoms. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If my story resonates with you and if you're ready to explore this holistic approach, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below, share your experience or questions about rosacea, and let's build a supportive community together. I think community is such a key, because I think rosacea and its impact is very hard to understand for anyone who hasn't had it. So it's going to be hard for you to talk about it to your husband or your friend or your mom, because it's just hard to understand when you're not living it. So I think the community aspect of it is really important. And remember that lasting changes come from within. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. So here is to healthy skin, here's to reclaim confidence, and I will see you in the next video.